Hey, what's up, everybody? I forgot I was streaming. I got cat. That's good. W music. Indeed, W music, indeed, Parker. Hello, everybody. What's up? Why do you disrespect the classics like this? What are you talking about, Big Daddy Avocado? Oh, but why do you... Oh, you already saw it to put the tier list because I posted it already. Well, if you've even already seen it, even if you've already seen it, then you can hear my methodology out for each of these games and why I think they're in certain tiers. You know what I mean? Hey, Joe, don't put Zelda 2 in D again. Why would I not? Why would I not put it in D? Why would I not put it in D? That's where it belongs, right? What's the deal? Hey, what's up? What is this, surprise stream? Yeah, a little bit of a surprise stream. A little bit to titillate your senses. Zelda 2 is so good, that's why. It is not so good. I hate to break the news to you, whippersnapper, but Zelda 2, yes, it is two quality of life changes away from being one of the better Zelda games, but the fact of the matter is it came out the way it came out, so it's bad. You only get one shot. You don't get a Schneider cut at this, alright? That's not the way this works. If somebody suddenly fixes Tears of the Kingdom right now and re-releases it, that doesn't make Tears of the Kingdom retroactively better. Too repetitive, in my opinion. Yeah. Yeah. This Buster's got it right. Because Zelda 2 deserves bottom tier. Yeah, it does. It does. I'm glad you guys agree. Start with Echoes at the bottom? No. I won't start with Echoes at the bottom. I don't think I'm gonna do that. I'm preying on a random orphan's life that one worker gets a high ranking. Well, we shall see. So, let's begin this tier list by putting everything I don't consider an actual Zelda game into irrelevant tier. Link's Awakening remake, I'm not including any remakes. Seagull's Rosy Rupee Land, irrelevant. What else? Four Swords is not a genuine Zelda game. Triforce Heroes is not a genuine Zelda game. Hyrule Warriors not a Zelda game. Four Swords. Age of Calamity. Seagull's Balloon Fight. Cadence of Hyrule. Faces of Evil. Wand of Gamelon. Zelda's Adventure. Those aren't actual Zelda games, IMO. Zelda 2 at bottom tier is crazy. It was an actual challenge. Okay. It is a good challenge, but the fact that you get put back to Zelda's Palace with all your dolls reset in Zelda 2 is a crime, and if a game is wasting my time that much, it should not be alive. Breath of the Wild is S, yeah. Yeah, it is. Let me change this to A+, because that's what tier lists mean. Everybody just puts S. S is superior to everything. Either I'm Jeff, I love Zelda. What's your favorite? Oh, hey, you'll see my favorite in a second, but... Alright. I say we begin our tier list with the worst Zelda game, and that's just Adventure of Link. Look, I love this game, right? It's a solid game. The problem with Zelda 2 is that it is such a well-designed game. It would have changed the entire direction of the series based off how great, like, what they were trying to do. But they decided to have two really bad, really terrible quality of life choices when they released this game. Which is, number one, whenever you die, you are transported back to Zelda's Palace at the very beginning of the game. And that is a terrible, terrible thing to do. That is an awful, no good, very bad game design. And if you don't know, it transports you back to Zelda's Palace even if you're on the other side of Hyrule, right? So let's say you're doing Death Mountain, you're collecting the dolls, right? And you get some dolls to help you out with extra lives. You don't keep the dolls for the rest of your playthrough. You only keep your dolls until you get a game over. Which is, and a doll, if you don't know, in Zelda 2, it gives you an extra life, right? But Look, what's your reasoning for that, Jojo? It's because, like, look, Zelda 2, beneath Zelda 2, this is why Zelda 2, it needs a remake out of any, it needs a remake out of any Zelda game. If Zelda 2 got a quality remake, all they would have to do is port it, widescreen it, and then get rid of the dumb mechanic of transporting you back to Zelda's palace when you die, and let you keep your dolls. I'm so serious. Zelda 2's A tier. If just a few quality of life changes are made. But since the game is inherently broken from just a fundamental gameplay standpoint, it has to go here. I'm sorry. It's just not, this isn't the way this works. We can't just be like, oh, what if? You know. Well, you know, what ifs. No Zelda game gets a Snyder cut in this scenario. There are no Snyder cuts in this scenario. There are no Snyder cuts in this scenario. I mean, why would you put Four Swords Adventures in irrelevant? It was a normal type Zelda game, IMO. It was a gimmick. Four Swords Adventures is a gimmick. And it's not a true Zelda game, it's just Zelda slapped onto it. It's a gimmick game. It's a gimmick game, you know what I mean? Jojo, are there any new games coming out that you want to play? There's nothing, man. Except for, like, GTA 6, and I'm playing Marvel Rivals lately on my second channel, but that's it. Hey, Gaming Legend, what's up? Honestly, yeah, I definitely agree that Zelda 2 should be bottom tier. But, Prime 4, I'm looking forward to Prime 4. Prime 4 is I'm looking forward to it the most out of any game, I believe, next to GTA 6, obviously. Okay, so Adventure of Link, you guys understand, it cannot be with everything else. Now this is gonna stir up some trouble. The Oracle games are definitely the second worst Zeldas, I think. Oh, Crossbow Training, that should be an irrelevant as well. And Balloon of Love. Balloon of Love. The Oracle games are, really supremely mid. It's Capcom to a T. I don't like Capcom game design. I just don't. I think Capcom game design is it's linear, which is fine, and it's like, okay, but they do Capcom games do everything sort of right without trying anything new. Like, if you play a Capcom game, you'll feel like you've played the game before. Oracle just got boring fast. Yeah, and the fact that it's a two-parter makes it worse. I can't imagine a three-parter here. Season isn't great, Ages is beautiful. I actually enjoyed Seasons the most. Because Seasons, you switch between 4 seasons for puzzles. And I enjoyed that aspect the most. Oracle of Ages, was too linear, oh, it's just back and forth, past and future. There are some really cool moments in Ages, however. But even with Oracle of Ages being the second worst Zelda game, look, it's like pizza, right? You know, even when it's pretty bad, even when it's bad, it's still pretty good, right? Zelda's like pizza, right? Even if it's bad, it's still pretty good. Oracle's felt way too Pokemon-y. Yeah, Oracle's was very Pokemon-y. I didn't enjoy that a lot, so that was a big knock on it too. Another Capcom Zelda game, Minish Cap. I think Minish Cap is better than Oracle of Ages and Seasons. I had a good time playing it last time I played it, but I already forgot everything about Minish Cap after I played it. And every Zelda game you play, most Zelda games you play are going to be very unforgettable experiences, right? And Minish Cap just wasn't it. You know what I mean? It just wasn't it. Minish Cap isn't even that bad. Well, yeah, something's got to be the worst Zelda game, guys. You know? Yo, Jojo, the song Archie's supposed to sound similar to Observatories or sound similar accidentally? Oh, it's on purpose. It's inspired directly by Astral Observatory. But, so, yeah, the Minish Cap it's fine. I played it on stream fully through, and I had an okay experience. I thought it was okay. The Kinstones are, you know, it's a mobile Zelda game. It's designed to be inherently, you know, you pull out your GBA for 20 minutes at lunchtime with your friends, and you play Minish Cap for 20 minutes. That's how the game is designed. It's designed to be played in 20-minute increments, and everyone forgets this. So they see Minish Cap's very pretty visuals and the art style and the music, which is pretty good, and they assume it's a top-tier Zelda game when it's like a mobile Zelda game. It's not really not that good. Jojo, I thought this was the strongest Link tier list. I'm dumb. No, yeah, but all right. So I played I don't know if I should rank Echoes of Wisdom. Because I have to tell you guys something. I have to admit something. I have to admit something that I should be really ashamed of, but here it goes. I could not finish Echoes of Wisdom. I couldn't finish it. I got so bored. I stopped when I was streaming it. Then I picked it up by myself, went halfway through it, and then got bored again. So, if the Zelda game is enough to bore me halfway through, if a Zelda game is enough to bore me halfway through, it's like, it's C tier. Echoes of Wisdom, woke game, yeah, because they turned Zelda into a girl. But, Echoes of Wisdom was so boring. I haven't even bought it. It was very, very boring. It was Grezzo's first original Zelda game, because they did a remake of a lot of previous Zelda games. They did a good job with it, except for MM3D. But Echoes of Wisdom was very mid. Echoes of Wisdom is bad by itself, not gonna lie. Yeah, I don't want to put it down with Adventure of Link, but I can't put it lower because I didn't finish it because I got bored. And I think I'm in a situation where I can say, look, if a Zelda game is boring me halfway through, it's a bad Zelda game. I think. You know what I mean? A Zelda game has never bored me halfway through except for a little bit of Tears of the Kingdom. But dear God, Echoes of Wisdom was so mid. You just can't for your line. Look, I think LOL Herbie played during school. I think Triforce Series is B tier, but based off mechanics, I can understand why it's irrelevant. It's not a Zelda game, right? Like, what defines a Zelda game is sense of exploration, adventure, good story, characters, right? If it's not going for that, then it's not a Zelda game. Echoes of Wisdom is a Zelda game because it's going for that thing in a new way, but it was really boring. This new, and it sort of proves that this new philosophy they have isn't good, and they need to switch it up quick. If we're already getting tired of the new formula 3 games in, when we didn't get tired of the traditional formula 15 games in, until 15 games in, you have to switch something up, man. Minish Cap deserved B+. I mean, maybe. There's a universe where I put Minish Cap slightly higher. Okay, but what do I do with the rest of these? You know what? I'll put it a little bit higher. Minish Cap in C+ tier with Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks sandwiching. Yeah, I think this is a healthy spot for Minish Cap. Not Echoes of Wisdom or Oracle of Ages Seasons bad, but really solid Zelda by the numbers enough to be up there with the DS Zelda games, I think. I just realized your name is Childier, that's interesting. But, you know, do you put it higher on your last tier list? I think, I don't know, but the more I think about Minish Cap, the more I'm like, it's not Echoes of Wisdom or Oracle of Ages or Oracle of Ages level. That's silly, I think. I think that's a pretty silly take. For a franchise with basically every game being good, there has to be a low. Yeah, and the mobile Zelda games are just inferior to mainline Zelda games. It's true, they're just inferior. Phantom Hourglass was a solid experience. I thought it was good. Spirit Tracks I think was a lot better than Phantom Hourglass, because they you know, they leaned into the DS mechanics, of course, still with Spirit Tracks, but the presentation, the story, the characters of Spirit Tracks are just a lot better than Phantom Hourglass, and I enjoyed the dungeons more in Spirit Tracks. Phantom Hourglass felt like a beta Spirit Tracks, and I have a problem with that, so I can't put Phantom Hourglass higher. But yeah, Echoes of Wisdom wasn't a very solid Zelda game, but it wasn't like Adventure of Link bad. That would be kind of insulting. It was very, very boring. I just hated the flute. I spent little hours trying to get the flute to work. Yeah, getting your spit on your DS, your salivation all over it. But, yeah, this is sort of, you know, like this C+ tier, Minish Cap, Spirit Tracks, Phantom Hourglass, like, I think just solid mobile Zelda games. Solid attempts. Nothing crazy, right? I think people overrate these games, Spirit Tracks, Minish Cap, Phantom Hourglass, for the sake of overrating them. Phantom Hourglass is just kind of annoying. I agree with that, Dash. It was just... There were things about Phantom Hourglass that were just monotonous, I think. The Great Sea was incredibly boring to explore. Spirit Tracks Hyrule was a bit more interesting, and it was quicker to navigate. I mean, choo-choo trains, you know. The worst part was the Temple of the Ocean King. I actually didn't not enjoy that much. I kind of liked Temple of the Ocean King, Parker, but most people didn't. I know, but how about Skyward Sword? I'll be ranking that in a sec, but hold up, I just got here. Spirit Tracks deserves a B at least. Has the best written story with Link and Zelda. Yeah, Spirit Tracks is good. I think it's. I can't put it in B. I can't. Because look at what's left on the list. Zelda 1, Ocarina, Wind Waker, Skyward, Link Between Worlds, Majora, Link to the Past, Link's Awakening, Twilight, Breath, Tears of the Kingdom. Can you genuinely say Spirit Tracks is better than any of these games here? Can you with a straight face tell me Spirit Tracks is better than any of these games? Someone tell me with a straight face Spirit Tracks is better than any of these Zelda games. Someone tell me with a straight face that Spirit Tracks is better than any of these Zelda games. It's better than TP. What? That's wild. Tears of the Kingdom? Oh, that's just wild. Maybe there's a universe where I put Spirit Tracks above Tears of the Kingdom. But I can't. That would be way too disrespectful. That would be crazy. That would be insane. But yeah, alright, here's where my list gets controversial. So, I have these Zelda games, right? I've always thought of these, like, bottom whatever Zelda games is. Oh, these are like, you know, cherry on top Zelda games you can play if you're a huge fan. Like, play these games if you're a huge fan and you want to kind of experience more Zelda that's not, like, that great, but it's pretty solid. And then B through S are just, like, the essential Zelda games, right? B through S are the essential Zelda games. So, we know what's going to be in there. But I have one game that I don't think is just an optional Zelda game to play. That's like, you can't skip it. But it's also, it is not an elite level Zelda game. And it's sort of in this weird limbo of mid, right? It's in a weird limbo of mid where we haven't decided whether it's a good game or not. And that would be Tears of the Kingdom. For me personally, like, I'll just put it bluntly, I thought Tears of the Kingdom sucked. I've always thought it sucked. I never enjoyed it. It was a ROM hack of Breath of the Wild, $70 DLC, yada yada yada, right? I never thought it was good. I thought they were trying to make TikTok clips with Tears of the Kingdom. I thought their entire goal of the development team was like, all right, let's make this game to where people can make TikTok clips, right? With building. And building is absolutely useless in the game. No one wants to admit it because no one is ever actually going to build anything in the game other than crazy Redditors. But nobody in chat right now, the people that agree with me in chat disagree with me in chat right now, nobody in chat right now has built anything crazy in Tears of the Kingdom. The craziest thing you've ever built is flopping 4 wheels on a stone tablet and a steering stick. And that's the extent. That is the craziest thing you've ever built in the game. And all the development time went into that. And it's a weird limbo game. You know? I mean, I see a universe where Tears of the Kingdom was like down here, but it's in limbo. It's in limbo. It's in limbo, you know what I mean? Tears would have been received so much better if Breath of the Wild was never released and there was no building. Yeah, I think that, like, that's my thing is, if people are saying, well, Tears of the Kingdom would have been better if Breath of the Wild never existed, and it's like, dog, man, if someone makes the Mona Lisa, right? Whatever, like, someone makes the Mona Lisa modern day, right? Then the same guy comes back and says, here's the Mona Lisa 2, add some clouds in the background, and actually kind of makes the painting a little bit worse. That doesn't make it better than the Mona Lisa. That's just a ROM hack of the Mona Lisa. There's, like, I'm just, like, everybody, Like, I'll tell you a little secret. I know a lot of Zelda tubers, right? I'll give you a little secret, because they won't say it, because this will cost their channel a lot of money. They hate Tears of the Kingdom. That's a little secret I'll tell you. Most Zelda tubers hate Tears of the Kingdom, because of how much it killed the lore, and how, like, disappointing it was. So, Tears of the Kingdom is in limbo. I cannot disrespect it and put it down here with, like, kind of watered-down Zelda games-ish. I don't want to call them watered-down, but they're not. I mean, what am I going to put Spirit Tracks in the same tier as Majora's Mask? Absolutely not. I'm absolutely not going to put Tears of the Kingdom, or Spirit Tracks with Majora's Mask, but I'm also not going to put it with Tears of the Kingdom, because that would just actually be very disrespectful to Tears. But this game is not going to age well, I don't think. It's getting worse as we speak. Tears of the Kingdom was a disappointment, yeah. Yeah, stuff like the dungeon design especially suffered. I mean, the Divine Beasts in Breath of the Wild were better. And then everyone gaslit themselves into saying that the dungeons in Tears were better than Divine Beasts in Breath of the Wild. Brother, what? Dude, Tears of the Kingdom's dungeons were Divine Beasts from Breath of the Wild, except you couldn't maneuver the dungeon however you wanted on your UI. It was just a Divine Beast that you couldn't, like, mess around with. So it's worse! I think Divine Beast had better mechanics. Thank you, someone. And I've always been a Divine Beast glazer, so Breath of the Wild was peak Zelda, sue me. I mean, I would agree with you. But, alright, so now we get into the good stuff. These, like, if someone is, if someone's like, hey, recommend me some Zelda games, these are the sacred 10 games, right? I think Zelda has 10 crazy great games, right? These are the sacred 10 right here. So, where it's like, well, you have the sacred 10, Jojo. I mean, I'm kidding you not, right? If you ask anyone from any generation, like, all right, make a top 10 list with these 10 Zelda games below, go. It is going to be all over the place. Because of how, you know, like, different they are and how they impacted the gaming industry and how they impacted people and whatnot. You know, crazy. It's crazy. But, Link Between Worlds is also a gimmick game, Jojo. I would disagree, because I'll explain to you in a second why Link Between Worlds is very different from Tears of the Kingdom. I'll give you my reasoning, but so I think the worst of the best is Link Between Worlds. I think the worst of the best is Link Between Worlds, simply because of the fact that it reuses a Link to the Past map. I don't like that. I really, really, really don't like that. I was not a fan of them reusing the map from Link to the Past. If this game used an entirely new map and new overworld, you're looking at probably A tier. But since it was very unoriginal, I have to put it in B. Right? I gotta put it in B. So I really, 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 really enjoyed the going into the wall mechanic. What carries this game is the puzzle design. The morphing into the wall, going to their side, figuring out how to get things, like by going to the wall in a 2D space and making it so a 2.5D game. It's brilliant. Man, I wish that they create a new overworld for this, because I have to put it in B tier on principle. You can't just copy and paste a Link to the Past map. I know it started as Link to the Past remake, but you have to make an original map, man. You know? Like, Majora's Mask was able to do it in 2 years. You couldn't do it in the 20 years since A Link to the Past. You know? Tears of the Kingdom story could have been better if it was lacking in lore. I mean, Tears of the Kingdom story just sucks, period. I mean, everybody... Like, I think the storytelling sucks. The story itself is fine, probably, but the storytelling of Tears of the Kingdom, it sucks. And everybody knows it. Like, nobody... You know... We're past the honeymoon period. We can say it. Like, Tears of the Kingdom storytelling sucked. And you can't have a sucky storytelling in a Zelda game. Story is very integral to Zelda. So Tears of the Kingdom, yeah. A Link Between Worlds is so hard carried by its puzzle design and just how solid the game is to play. And the story, yeah, it's bottom B, but like, man, if it had an original overworld, we're looking at A, probably. So, Now, what do I say? I say a game that's really been getting ragged on is Zelda 1. And it's better than Link Between Worlds, just because, look, man. Look, I know... Here's the misconception people say is, oh, it's impossible to play without a guide, but let me tell you, the video game industry has always been grimy. In the late 80s, they were designing these games to be played with guides as a form of, like, padding and DLC. Spend more money to win, right? Honestly, big fan of Zelda 1. Zelda 1 is so solid. It's a solid experience. I don't know what YouTuber was saying it was bad, because, like, there's, like, bad juju going around about Zelda 1. People are saying it's not good. I don't know what people are huffing, man. Like, it is a solid experience. I'm playing it in 2025 and having a solid time with it, because I'm playing with a guide, right? I'm like, okay, here's a guide. I'm playing it the way they intended. With a guide, right? I am playing with a guide and having a good time, right? You don't beat Zelda 1 without a guide. It's not the way that works. Zelda 1 is mid. No. I just so disagree. Zelda and Pass are pretty confusing without a guide. I think Link to the Past is doable without a guide, but the thing about old games is that they have that annoying little thing that's designed to waste your time. They put in things that are just little itty-bitty things designed to waste your time, because the memory back then was dog water. So they couldn't fit these games on, they couldn't fit these huge games on these cartridges. So they wanted, people to get their bang out of their buck, and they artificially extended the playtime of the games with stupid difficulty or stupid puzzles. So that's how they did it. But Zelda 1, dungeons are fun. I mean, just the combat in Zelda 1 is fun. The simplicity of it, of just, oh, like, how do I maneuver to this enemy? Let me flank this enemy. The combat in Zelda 1 is actually better than modern combat in Zelda in some ways, just because there's a challenge to flanking enemies and, like what item usage and, there's some stupid things, but, like, if you have a guide, it's no big deal, But using it, like, a grimy video game industry practices aside, Zelda 1's solid. I like Zelda 1, yeah. But alright, now we get into some opinions here. We get into some opinions here. We have Zelda 1 and A Link Between Worlds, right? So, this is gonna be my first controversial take. I really think, of all these games, I gotta put Wind Waker at the top of B tier. Right? Cause look, guys, nobody wants to admit it. Alright, nobody wants to admit it. Nobody wants to admit it, but here's a little secret. The dungeons in Wind Waker suck. The dungeons in Wind Waker are the worst in 3D Zelda aside from open air. The dungeons in Wind Waker are so supremely simple and linear. There is no challenge to playing a Wind Waker dungeon. And that is an integral part of the Zelda series. And it's also an incomplete game. How did they get away with releasing an incomplete game to universal praise? I will never know. What it has going for it is the narrative of it. It has the underdog narrative of it. When the trailer dropped and they had cartoon Zelda, everybody hated it. I think reasonably that, going from Majora to that was crazy. The narrative is that, oh, it's the underdog, man. Despite it being looking cartoony, kiddish, it ended up one of the best Zelda games ever. All right, tell me something. Tell me something great about Wind Waker that isn't in the art style or the music. Oh, wait. Tell me something great about Wind Waker that's not in the art style or the music or the presentation of the game. Tell me that it's like, oh, this dungeon was well designed or the overworld was well designed. I don't want to hear it. It's overworld travel is cumbersome. Kind of sucks too. And it sort of drags, right? The whole game kind of drags. And now the narrative, I think, is shifting back to where Wind Waker is getting recognized as an incomplete game. Because look at this, man. Like, when people are begging for Zelda remakes on the Switch, okay? We're begging for Zelda remakes on the Switch. We have Twilight Princess and we have Wind Waker, okay? So, King Roy Lions is a good character, I'll give you that. Okay, but when you have the conversation about the Switch 2 going on right now, where everyone is saying, oh, I want Twilight Princess or I want Wind Waker for Switch, I am seeing more exponential demand for Twilight Princess on Switch 2 than Wind Waker. There is a huge difference. People want Twilight Princess way more than Wind Waker for Switch 2. Because they know that Twilight Princess is a more complete package. Right? Because we know they're gonna sell these games individually for $60 because it's Nintendo. And it's ridiculous that they do it, but they're gonna do it. And it's gonna be $60. Wind Waker's an incomplete GameCube game. I'm not buying that for $60. No way. You can't make me bet. You can't. The only way you can get me to play Wind Waker Switch 2 is if they add 2 completely new dungeons. Wind Waker is literally missing 2 dungeons at minimum. It's crazy. It's crazy. What are the individual factors which determine each tier? So D tier is just broken. Like they messed up quality of life so hard that, you know. C tier is boring, mid. C plus is relatively enjoyable but not a quintessential Zelda experience. B minus is limbo. This game is in limbo and we're not sure where to put it because it was bad. But it was almost one game of the year, which is insane. And B tier is innovative but flawed. Right? Wind Waker innovated the presentation of Zelda, right? Wind Waker kept the presentation of Zelda, the story, the presentation, the art style going, and it was, you know, it was great. It was great. Like they kept the innovation going. I thought Wind Waker did a good job with just making Zelda a grand adventure. We need more Ravio fan art. He has great design. Yes, he does. But we do need more Ravio fan art, Murky. I agree. But yeah, and then Wind Waker. So Wind Waker is at the top of B. Cause look, man, it's just these games are so much better than Wind Waker. I don't know. I feel like, you know, these games are solidly better. Yeah, especially. Well, actually, not so fast, Busters. Not so fast. I may have another game for B tier. I might have another game for B tier. I'm eyeing one in particular. Yeah, this is B plus tier. It's better than Wind Waker though. I also like the Wind and Earth Temple theme. Yeah, Wind Waker's $50 price when it launched is worth about $85 in 2025 dollars. Yeah, I mean, gaming inflation's real. I mean, look, they could sell us $85 games now, but no one would buy them. And they know it, and they will never raise the price. Alright. So, I can't decide whether to put Skyward Sword in B or A. It's either low A or high B. Because Skyward Sword is not better than any of these games. I don't think. But it's also... You know what? Yeah, high B. It needs A. You know what? It's A. It's A. It's A. It's A. It's A. It's A. It is A. You know why? You know why it's A? You know why it's A? Dungeons. Dungeons. Dungeons, dungeons, dungeons. Skyward Sword's dungeons. You could look a man in the eye, and you could say, "Hey, Buster, Skyward Sword has the best dungeons in the entire Zelda series." And that man will go, "I think you're right." And if you're a Zelda game where you arguably have the best dungeons in the series, and you have incredible music and great presentation, I'm just saying, like, putting this outside the top 10 is wild, I think, you know? No, just no, not even close. Alright, let's run down the list. Ocarina of Time, Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword. All have the best dungeons in the series. Worst minigames they have. It's not the dungeons that's the issue, it's everything else. I still stand by A tier, I think. I just can't put it in B tier with Zelda 1 and Link Between Worlds. Based off of just dungeons, it would be S. The story isn't bad either, the rest of the game, though. Alright. I just think if you just play Skyward Sword on rails, you don't think too much, you just accept it's not an open world Zelda game, it's a blast. But if you go in saying, I want to explore this overworld, you're not going to have a good time. The mentality going into Skyward Sword is so important. That's why either people say they love this game or they hate it. We should probably move on from here. Well, this is a controversial place, man. Skyward Sword, it's either B+ or A. You know? But, with that, let's move on to what I think is the next one on this list. Link's Awakening. Link's Awakening is better than Skyward Sword. Link's Awakening is an absolutely amazing game. But, Link's Awakening is a weird game. Because you could get away with putting Link's Awakening down here. Or you get away with putting it up here. It is the highest fluctuating Zelda game out of all the Zelda games here. Like, it's weird. Like, Link's Awakening is weird. People don't know what to do with it. Like, how to think about it as a game, right? People don't know what to think about Link's Awakening as a game. But, man, all I'm saying is that if you are a Game Boy game, and you are making people emotional as a Game Boy game over the ending and making people cry with 8-bit technology, you've done something very correct, right? Yoshiaki Koizumi has cooked again, right? Genuinely, LA has become slightly overrated. I disagree. I think it's always been considered the upper echelon of Zelda games. Only problem is the whole adventure was fake, which I always hate. Wasn't well, not technically, but there's arguments to be made. But look, Ben drowned. Link's Awakening is, look, I have to respect it because it's one of the first great mobile games ever created. Like, Link's Awakening is a pioneer for incredible mobile games, right? Because they just made this game for fun, like, lol, let's make it on our Game Boy, see what happens. And you end up making something just beautiful. It's always accidents, man. It's always accidents. It's always accidents, and Link's Awakening is incredible. I agree. The whole it was dream thing ruined the game, but the game is fun. Yeah, I agree. You know. I agree. But, Hot Summer Car Ride game, seriously. But, alright. So we got a few games left. Now this is tough. Because I have something in mind I'm gonna do. I gotta add another tier. I gotta add another tier. We need more separation. We need more separation. So, I got 3 tiers left and 5 games, so good luck with that. So I think the worst batch of these, probably Link to the Past. I used to think this game was S tier with Ocarina and Breath. I think A Link to the Past has aged not as well as Ocarina of Time, right? TP Wind Waker is a functional tie for me. It used to be for me, but the more I play those games, the more I realize TP is just is finished. It's a finished game. Wind Waker is not. A Link to the Past has not aged well compared to Ocarina of Time. 5 years apart. Those games are only 5 years apart, right? But A Link to the Past, there are some. It has old game tropes that I hate. I hate how they use difficulty as a way to pad out the game. The game should take like 8 hours to complete, but they do some dumb little things in between to just rage bait you, right? And it's annoying. It's very annoying. At the end game of Link to the Past, I don't like. Everything else is solid. It introduced the formula for Zelda, the base of Zelda. It is the base of the statue in which Zelda was built upon. And it's amazing. It is the base statue of which Zelda was built upon. However, When people say, what's the greatest game of all time? People usually go, okay, Red Dead Redemption 2, Ocarina of Time, Mario 64, GoldenEye, Last of Us. Are you ever going to hear somebody say A Link to the Past? Like, I know A Link to the Past is just as important as Ocarina of Time, but Ocarina of Time has aged significantly better than A Link to the Past. It has aged better, but, alright, I got 4 games left, and Majora's Mask is surprisingly high for me. I'm going to put it with A Link to the Past. So, here's something that I need to say. So, Link's Majora's Mask, 4th best Zelda game. Yep. Look. Majora's Mask? No, your mommy and daddy weren't brave enough to tell you this. So I'm gonna tell you. Peanut Butter Gamer wasn't brave enough to tell you. Zeltic's not brave enough to tell you. I'll tell you this. Majora's Mask is absolutely hard carried by the fandom and theories that emerged when this game was created. It is absolutely carried by it. It is carried by the deep themes they put into the game accidentally, right? 5 stages of grief, love, death, art, right? A lot of those things came accidentally out of the game, right? And people say it's absolutely, like, you will see so many people say Majora's Mask is one of my favorite games ever, because it is carried. It is carried by that. Now, if we're talking about game design, there are some rough spots. There are some rough spots of Majora's Mask. Number one, the fact that I go to Akana Canyon and it's forcing me to do 3 side quests at a time and go back and forth and waste my time to complete a simple castle, that's bad. There are some gameplay elements in Majora's Mask that shows that it was rushed. At least it's complete, unlike Wind Waker. They knew their limitations. Wind Waker, they did not know their limitations. They were shooting for the moon and then came up short. Majora's Mask, they knew their limitations and they were smart about it. However, some of that shows in the game. Oh, but I love MM because of the vibes. Look, that's what I'm saying. Majora's Mask is a top 5 Zelda game for vibes alone. That is the only reason why it's a top 5 Zelda game. Admit it, okay? All of you have to admit it. I admit it. I acknowledge it. I'm like, look, yes, End Drowned, the whole lore, the arts, the beauty and death, Yoshiaki Koizumi yet again carrying a game for us. It's vibes, okay? You know this. It's vibes. You like to think about Majora's Mask than you like to actually play it. You like to think about it more than you like to actually play it. And that's powerful. That's powerful. And depending on your priorities, if it can make you think about it when you're not playing it, then yeah, S2. But for me, I think it accidentally became art. I think it was an accident. And I think it's great. What's sad, even with the shortcomings, I love it. Yep. Even with the shortcomings, it's still great. Stone Tower Temple is amazing. The dungeons are solid. The dungeons are... I don't know how they were able to make solid dungeons, but they did it. So, they pulled it off. That's how you make a game with a that's how you make something with a deadline. Alright! So I got the big 3 here, right? I got the big 3 here. And as you can see, I have 2 spots left. Right? So, now, I may be a little bit biased, because does anybody want to tell me what they see behind me in my room? Does anybody want to tell me what they see behind me right there? Does anybody? Anybody see that? Right. It's Twilight Princess, right? It's one of my favorite games ever. It's an incredible experience. So, I have been avoiding ranking TP too high out of personal bias, but maybe I'm just realizing that TP is one of the best Zelda games ever. Now, is it the best Zelda game ever? Not yet. Not yet. It's almost there. Not yet. It's almost there. It's not there yet. Here. The reason why Twilight Princess is so beloved right now. I'll tell you a little secret. The reason why everyone loves Twilight Princess right now, you will not see a bad word of it, unlike when it came out, people were calling it an Ocarina of Time demake. They were calling it this, that, and the other, and you know, then it fell from grace. People were saying Wind Waker is better than Twilight Princess, which is mind-blowing that people would say Wind Waker is better than Twilight Princess. But the reason why people say that Twilight Princess is one of the best Zelda games ever now is because it's everything people miss about old Zelda. It's everything people miss about old Zelda. And Twilight Princess is literally everything people miss. Every single aspect of it, of Twilight Princess, is what people miss from the older Zelda games. Even the newer open-air fans look at Twilight Princess and be like, I want a piece of that cake, right? They want it. They want the story that takes itself seriously. They want the solid dungeons. They want one of the best characters in Zelda history, Midna. They want it all back. They want Epona riding through Hyrule Field while Link is riding a fucking horse, swinging his sword at Ganondorf. People want that back. Really badly. While epic music is playing behind you and you're cutting grass and getting magic potions and killing crazy bosses while hookshotting a dragon's tail and plunging your sword into his back. It is everything people miss about old Zelda. It is everything people miss. And so that's why it's so high nowadays. That's why it's so high nowadays. That's why people miss it so much. Because this is the Zelda formula, traditional Zelda formula refined. It is pristine. It is chef's kissed, right? It is everything traditional Zelda formula. So, I got 2 games left. It was gonna come down to this inevitably. It was gonna come down to this inevitably. Inevitably, it was gonna come down to this. Breath of the Wild, Ocarina of Time. These two have been kind of at each other's throats as far as what the best Zelda game ever is, right? For some time. I used to always put A Link to the Past, Ocarina, and Breath of the Wild in S tier, but since I've been prioritizing more, like how solid the gameplay is, A Link to the Past has been kind of slowly going down. So these two games mean a lot to me. Breath of the Wild is a transformative game for me. Like it came out during a transformative time in my life, obviously youth, right? But Ocarina of Time is just nostalgic for me because it reminds me of being a small child playing these games, right? And it's solid, right? It's very very solid. Now the thing is that people talk about the greatest games of all time, right? And they have been putting Ocarina of Time at #1 for a long time. Breath of the Wild then comes out, and it sort of took Ocarina's place as far as like dialogue for greatest game of all time. But it almost felt like an industry plant, right? It almost felt like they were forcing Breath of the Wild to kick Ocarina out of the conversation when, you know, you can't kill Ocarina of Time, right? Like this game, Ocarina of Time is a classic story, right? It is the story of the hero. It is a classic story. It is a fairy tale. It is the groundbreaking 3D game. It is the game people think of when they think of Zelda, still. And Breath of the Wild, you could argue the same thing, but it has its own fan base now, right? It's almost like Breath of the Wild community is separate from the Zelda community, which is fine. However, whenever I think of Ocarina of Time, Breath of the Wild, I always think about, alright, if I'm trying to dissect what I think is better, I think of legacy, right? Because there's an untouched thing called legacy, right? You could argue, well, gameplay mechanics, this is better statistically, or this has more enjoyment, this has more Zelda enjoyments, but if we're talking about legacy, Ocarina of Time's legacy right now is so solid because of its replay value. Ocarina of Time is so good because of its replay value. And that is, like, Ocarina of Time is one of the best replay values of any game I've ever played. And the fact that they will do it for one of the first 3D games ever created, right? not ever created, but the first like solid 3D game that said, hey, video games can be an art, by the way. They can be memorable experiences, they aren't just time wasters. And Ocarina of Time obviously deserves S tier, right? But what about Breath of the Wild? With Breath of the Wild, I've always told people, I think Breath of the Wild, the first 20 hours of Breath of the Wild is my favorite gaming experience almost ever, right? I'm always saying Breath of the Wild is the first 20 hours, but after those first 20 hours, the game falls off. Like, it falls off really hard. And the replay value of Breath of the Wild is only good for the first 20 hours, because the gameplay loop that was kind of accidentally introduced in Breath of the Wild, where your mini quests of going to an end of the map with limited stamina, limited hearts, so you have to kind of forge your own quest ahead. That's solid, but after the first 20 hours, you go, that's it, you know, that's it. And, I really am interested to see the legacy of this game as the people that grew up with it get older, right? And the way they think about it, because there's nothing, I've never seen anything like, because I wasn't raised with Ocarina of Time. I have never seen anything like with Ocarina of Time as I have seen with people that grew up with that game. There is a part of people's personalities engulfed in Ocarina of Time. Even when they stopped playing video games, excuse me. Even when people stop playing video games, they always go, "Oh, I remember Ocarina of Time. I remember Ocarina of Time. I played Ocarina of Time." And that's the difference maker, right? I haven't seen that with Breath of the Wild yet. I've seen a really passionate community. I've seen people really in love with the game that love it. And I've seen people say it's a part of their lives. And even non-gamers saying it. But the replay value of it just isn't as good, right? I just don't... Even if I put Breath of the Wild in S tier, I can't put it ahead of Ocarina. I can't. It's amazing. However, it needs time to cook a little bit. Ocarina of Time, we all know what it is. It is a classic fairy tale. It's a classic. It is timeless. Breath of the Wild, I'd like to see how it stands against the test of time a little bit more, as far as replay value goes, and how people play these games going into the future, right? I like it, and it's absolutely gorgeous, but replay sucks. Yeah, that's why replay value. If replay value just sort of sucks, isn't that good with the game, I can't put it in S tier. It has everything Ocarina has except replay value. It has everything Ocarina has except for replay value. So yeah, that about recaps this. It's a very interesting. I mean, my tier list priorities change continuously. However, I do need to know what you guys think. Do you guys agree with it? What would you guys change the most of this, right? What would you guys change? What's the biggest change you would make? TP is Breath of the Wild S. A+. W, yeah. Valid tier list, Twilight Princess is S. So we think Twilight Princess is S. TP would be on top, Twilight Princess SS. Please put Breath of the Wild back in S. Twilight Princess is S. So that would be the number one change, would be Twilight Princess S tier. Okay, I can agree with your top 4 placements. Thanks. Yeah. This is about where I think everything is. Just about. Link Between Worlds needs to be up with OT. I prefer it to almost every game I played besides Ocarina of Time. It's good. It's solid, but it's just there's some knocks on it. I have principal knocks, you know. I would put Wind Waker next to MM. Okay, I gotta ask, guys. Why would you put it Ocarina of Time level? Why is Twilight Princess Ocarina of Time level? I need to ask, because I disagree. My bad. Why is CP Ocarina of Time level? What? Excuse me. W list JoJo. OT definitely the best game on this list, no bias. I personally think Breath of the Wild is overrated, but it might just be me. Okay. Yeah, we're getting some. there's sort of a coalition of people saying Ocarina of Time is a little bit overrated, which I'm seeing a lot of everywhere. A+ tier right behind OT. The overall dark aesthetic of TP really fits Zelda. Okay. OT is the bee's knees. Yeah. I mean, even non-gamers love OOT. It's nostalgic, fun, and Hyrule-filled story and Midna. Yeah. I mean, like, we could, what was it? There's a Zelda characters, right? Let me, Zelda characters, right? I misspelled everything there. There's Zelda character tier list. There's I could put Zelda, Zelda companion tier list, yeah. There's Zelda companion tier list. Oh yeah, this will be simple. I mean, agree? Agree? Everybody, yeah, join Discord, subscribe, like stream, everybody. Yeah, I think we can all agree, right? We can all agree. We can all agree. Best game in my opinion is Majora's Mask and TP. Hydration check, you're so right. I agree. Minna definitely is the best by far, you know. It is Will, yeah. The OT introduced so many series staples, it's crazy. Alright, next companion. Oh, Zelda from Spirit Tracks, so good. So good. Love Zelda from Spirit Tracks. The DS Zelda games introduced some of the best companions ever, because I remember when the DS games were Zelda games were happening, everyone was complaining, like everybody wanted better companions, and Nintendo went through a little, Zelda team went through a little phase where they were going, well, let's just make the best companions ever. So they went on a run from like 2006 to 2012 where they were making Twilight Princess, Midna, and Phantom Hourglass, Linebeck, right? And Spirit Tracks Zelda. So, but and Linebeck is A tier as well. That was the first time we got Zelda herself as a partner. It was awesome, yeah. It was so awesome. Worst companions tier list of 5. Those goons from Tears of the Kingdom during Endgame. Oh yeah, the Sage companions. Tears of the Kingdom really just took Breath of the Wild and said, "Here's something worse." How do you do that and then almost win Game of the Year? All right, Celia, Tattletale. Who's the best? Ezlo's super overrated. King of Red Lions is solid. Tail is A tier. Tail's just a jerk, man. Tail's not A tier. I disagree. Navi is solid A. Nah, I don't think Navi's up with A tier with Spirit Tracks, Zelda, and Linebeck. No way. Tail has personality. Yeah, that personality was just a jerk personality. Never any Red Dead Redemption with them. No character growth. Minda has hella character growth. She's amazing. Jojo loves Linebeck so much. LMFAO. I do. He's awesome. Linebeck is so cool. He's great. Fairies do have redemption. Navi, you know, but kind of. Still have Connect. Navi has got to be close to an A, but she definitely got annoying at times, right? Yeah, I can agree. But here we go. Ezlo, kind of is pretty overrated. He's not that cool, honestly. His lore is okay. It's just he's a Capcom character. And then Fi, probably B with King of Red. Ah, nah. I won't disrespect King of Red Lions like that. Who's the worst companion? I'll put Celia because this is rip off Navi. I'll put Tail up here with King of Red Lions. And I'll put Navi up here. Depending on your priorities, boom. That's my companion tier list. You're the first person I've met to put Fi above any of them. Really? I mean, Fi is just a cool concept. But she's carried by her concept and her farewell. You know, this is about right. Boring. Annoying. Solid. Great. Hot. I'm just kidding. Fire. I was trying to put fire. I wasn't trying to say, like, never mind. But, Linebeck is above Zelda. I don't know, man. Spirit Track Zelda was so fun. It was Zelda being a companion, that novelty is awesome. That is awesome. Fi such a good character arc at the end. So agree. Very good. Jojo, you saved yourself there. Whew. The battery warning is stupid. It is. You're right. It is pretty stupid, but there's nothing we can do about it. But yeah. With better game design, Fi is second easily. Yeah. Yeah, they fix it. Yeah. Maybe. Mina is zesty. Nah. Mina ain't zesty. Yeah, this is probably about the companion tier list. I think. How is Ezlo annoying? Oh, come on. He was annoying for the first half of the game, and then he was like, oh, I'm actually an old grumpy old man, and then it's like, whatever. You know. He's sort of whatever. I'll never not give Minish Cap some slack. How many members are we at, by the way? I gotta see this. How many members are we at, lovelies? I'm coughing so much. What should I do next, huh? What should I do next, guys? The screen says 138. Okay. Let me look at my actual. Oh, we're at 150. Let's go. We're actually at 150. 150 members. Very solid. Best Zelda designs. Well, hi, hey Q, what's up? Rank the golden bugs in DP. Let's see. Let's rank. What else for Zelda can we rank? Legend of Zelda OST. Oh, Breath of the Wild Trud. Zelda best girl. Oh. We can rank all the Zeldas, yeah. Why not? Automatically. Automatically. Agreed? Agreed that Zelda from Spirit Tracks is S tier? Goddess? Agreed? 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 Very first Zelda I thought of. Like, one above all. One above all. You should do this with us mods in VC. Oh, that'd be fun. But, alright, I have a little deal going on. Everyone, listen to me closely. Everyone, listen to me closely. If someone gives 5 memberships before end of this tier list, I will personally... Oh my god! Sorry, my nose is bleeding. Alright, retake. Take 2. Alright. If someone gives 5 memberships right now, I will also give 5 memberships, and I will keep the stream going by playing A Link Between Worlds going into the night. Sound good? Sound good? Yay! Yeah, if someone gives 5 memberships, or if I get 5 memberships by the end of this tier list, I will give 5 memberships myself, and I will keep stream going into the midnight. Jojo, you are alive. There is no retakes. Don't make fun of me. Don't make fun of me. I can't handle it. Why is your nose bleeding? Oh, I always have chronic nosebleeds. It just happens. Jojo should totally do another modcast. Why not? You guys want to do a modcast? For the vibes, right? I bet you guys would like it. TP Zelda is S. Yeah, she is. But TP Zelda, TP Zelda's a little bit overrated. You guys overrate her a little bit just because she's in Twilight Princess. I can't take it seriously. TP in your nose. I'm putting Twilight Princess in my nose, okay? You guys should do it. I really want to. But, alright. Let me think. What other Zeldas are S tier here? Minish Cap Zelda, Ocarina Zelda, Hyrule Warriors Zelda, Link to the Past Zelda. I'm gonna put, this Zelda in Queen. I think the best Zelda by far is Spirit Track Zelda. Isn't that crazy? The best Zelda by far is Spirit Track Zelda. I'm putting Skyward Sword Zelda in Queen tier because she's amazing and I love her. Breath of the Wild Zelda, same tier. Slightly lower than Skyward Sword Zelda, but still solid. Very solid. Very solid. I'm just gonna get rid of this. Jailbait is a wild word. And then Twilight Princess Zelda, she's like down here, I think. Same as Ocarina Zelda, I think. About the same. This one's Ocarina Zelda's better because she came first. And then looking pretty solid. Yeah. Oh yeah, Wind Waker Zelda. That one's the worst. They just zapped the personality out of Tetra. They zapped the personality out of Tetra and then they zapped the personality out of Tetra and then gave us then they gave us Wind Waker Zelda, unfortunately. Is this based on design or usefulness within the story? Both, just as a character in general. I really like Breath of the Wild Zelda. I remember when Zelda was just a goal to get to. Now she has personality! What a shame. I love Tetra's pirate personality. Me too. Amazing. Phenomenal. Splendid. But yeah, let's see here. Oh, there's Marin. I love Marin. I don't like the bobblehead though. I like her official art. That's let me give you a look at one of the best designs that nobody knows about in Zelda. Let me give you one of the best designs. This isn't Marin from Zelda. Okay. Look at her. 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 She's one of the best. Wait, I mean that wasn't Marin. She was just cosplaying. She's so cute. She's so great. Look at that design. She's so great. 117 like Master Chief. Yeah. Big fat W design. Very good. Love it. But yeah. Yeah, this is my Zelda tier list. Princess Zelda tier list. Need a chic shout out. I don't know how to rank. Alright, let's rank all the offshoots of Zelda. Every offshoot of Zelda. How about that? I'm not gonna bother making a new thing. I'm just gonna. Tears of Kingdom Zelda's the same thing. Oh, Link to the Past Zelda. Not much. I mean, just meh. Like all the early Zeldas don't do anything. They just don't do anything. You know. They do nothing. There's Zelda 1 Zelda. They just do nothing. They do nothing. They just sit there. Minish Cap Zelda included. I'll put her at least up with Wind Waker because they were child friends or something. Let's see. Sheik is so solid. Let's put Sheik up there with Spirit Track Zelda. Sheik is awesome. And no, not because they're a great character in Super Smash Bros. Melee. very solid. Disney, right? Tetra! Tetra! What do we do with Tetra? We put Tetra down here with Breath of the Wild and Skyward Sword Zelda, I think. Sheik is just a cool idea. That's why, like, the idea is so carried, hard carries them to S tier. Tetra is S tier. I think she's just a queen. Putting Sheik and OT Zelda in separate tiers is a wild move. OT Zelda does nothing. Tell me, what does she do? Other than complain and whine. What does she do? What's she do? I like how her head is cut off in the tier list. It's like, what? And then Tears of the Kingdom Zelda. I mean, just because this is Tears of the Kingdom by principle, I have to put it down here. Because the story is so bad. OT Zelda messes up timelines. Yes, she does. Yes, she does. Alright, guys. Solid stream. I was gonna keep going, but if we do get a gifted 5, then I'll keep going. But in the meantime, do remember one thing. Remember one thing for me. It's fun to sub to the JoJo Jets cult. It's fun to sub to the JoJo Jets cult. You can skip your Ritz. You can got your Glenny. You can hang out with Sid Sweeney. It's fun to sub to the JoJo Jets cult. Good night. Love you all. So long, fare thee well.